So right now, traders, for the last week or so, I've been saying that I am bearish, a short term anyway, on gold, and that has been coming down. If you've been watching that, we have been getting that pullback we've been looking for. But what may be, I'm not saying it is, but what may be setting up on the stock market coming up real soon, and also gold, if we get a certain pattern, and that's a big if we get this certain pattern, then we could be forming a bit of a bottom here right now overall, and a very big move to come. So let me share what I'm saying here. Don't place a trade based on what you're seeing in this video, because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Alrighty, traders. So the thing that I really want to just share with you is this. Okay, so let me start off with the stock market, and then I'll get to gold and silver in just a minute. Okay. So with the stock market right now, what's happening here? So right now we are at this major area of resistance. Okay, so we're at the area of resistance. So as I've been talking about for the last sort of week or so, how do the markets work, right? The markets never just keep going up. So if you're a bumblebee, right, and you think the market's just going to keep doing this and doing that, and we're never going to get a pullback, then you're delusional, right? Let's actually not be delusional. Let's actually just look at what the markets actually do. What does the market do? What does the market do? It goes up and we get a pullback. We will get some form of a pullback. When? We don't know, right? So the thing is that looking at the stock market, so the purpose of me just saying what I just said there to you is this, is the first thing that I really want to share with you is that after the pullback we get, right? So let's just say, for example, on this weekly chart, we do get a bit of a pullback and we get this, right? And we get a down bar like that. And then we get another down bar like that. And then we get another down bar like that. But then suddenly, if we do get the pullback, right, which we're likely to get anyway, right? Because it's the market needs a bit of a breather here before it goes for another move. Now, what we want to keep an eye out for in the marketplace is that if this overall big bear market, and that's what we're still in right now, we're still in an overall big bear market, we're still in a big downward trend. If this downward trend is going to come to an end after the pullback that we're likely to see real soon, if we do, right, no one knows, but the big ifs, is that if we start to get this and we start to get a nice movement up like that, where we're creating a low and a higher low, if over the next few weeks we get something like that, then yes, all bets are off for the downside, especially if we get a nice little pullback and a higher low and a break back up, and we get something like this coming up like that. Then guess what? Yes, all bets are off for the downside, and then the upside, away we go. We're probably likely to make a really big move to the upside. If we get this pattern, the market is probably going to go through one of the biggest, greatest moves to the upside we've seen. Right? We could see probably 5,500, maybe even 6,000 on the S&P. That's the if scenarios, right? So the if, this is the question mark. I'm not saying we are going to get this. I'm just saying we need to watch out for this pattern, because if it does form, then we could be getting ready for, and I know in the face of all the bad news we've just seen, right, and we are in right now, apparently we're in a recession right now, and we should be seeing this market continue down, okay? That's where, guys, we need to throw our thoughts and our opinions out the window and really what's going on here, because I'll tell you right now, guys, millions of dollars are going to be made, but what we need to do is we need to stay neutral and let the market, if the market does do something like this, what we need to do is we just need to just focus on what the market's doing. So that's what's happening there with the S&P 500, right? And but again, guys, if you actually, this is me just giving you an update on the overall market. If you actually like to learn an actual trading system, because if you are trading the markets, and as I'm going to gold here, if you are trading the markets, you must be trading the markets with some sort of a plan, right? I see far too many people that are very vague in the way they're trading right now. You're very vague. It's like, oh, well, it broke this trend line, so I'm going to enter here. Well, the stochastics is overbought, so I'm going to enter here, right? It's like very vague. Go to johnsfreetraining.com right now. Very first link in the description. You'll get access to a free training that I'm running, and you'll be able to see how to actually start to set up a simple pattern, a simple plan that you can start to use in your trading today. That's going to increase your success rate massively, tenfold. So looking at this here right now, look at this here on gold. So the very first thing I noticed with gold is this. This is, if I squeeze my charts back up with gold, look at this here. See this bottom trend line here with gold? Now guys, I have been bearish with gold, right? I have been bearish with gold, and we have been getting the pullback that I was after, right? We are getting that slowly, we're slowly and surely getting the pullback. And I've been saying this is gonna come, and it's happening right now, right? We are getting that. So I have been absolutely dead smack on right with that. But as a trader in these markets, we always need to look at the possibilities of yes, it's going down. We can keep going down. But if this is going to be some sort of a bottoming pattern, if it is, then I need to be alert for that as well too. So what I mean by that is this, is that right now, long term, if we have a good look at this here, we can see how we've actually had a bounce, 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 and a bounce. Look where it actually bounced right there, right? So we got a big, strong long-term bounce. We've got a big, strong long-term bounce through there. Maybe that was the major low for quite some time. I don't know. We don't know. But what we need to do is watch out for this. What's happening right now in the markets is going to give us a big clue of what could happen over the next couple of weeks, right? Right now, I am bearish, right? Right now, the market is in a downward trend. Right now, we don't want to be fighting the markets, right? Because we are in a downward trend. So we're in a downward trend. This is for short-term analysis, guys. If you're a buy and holder, then this is nothing to do with you, okay? Completely different levels, all right? So look what we have here. We have support, and then actually, let me actually do this here. So if we have this resistance, and then resistance level through here, so we're in a downward trend. We're still getting that. So there still is a good possibility we could get something like that, and then we continue down, all right? We still can get that. We're in the downward trend. The trend is your friend until the end. But, and this is where it gets really awesome for the gold bugs right there, right? The gold bugs. But if we don't get this thing through here, and the market, which we always need to be listening to, right? It's not about me. It's about the markets, right? So what happens if this happens? Let's actually just say, okay, we're here right now, and you can see we're making lower highs. But we're actually at two levels of resistance, aren't we? See how we have this sort of one level of support, which then became strong resistance. And then we have this resistance here. So this here is like X marks the spot, right? Which is the two levels of resistance. Now, check this out. What happens? What happens if we get something like this? Let's just say, for example, we get another little down day like that. Right? Cool. And then we get something like that. And then we do something like that. And then for some reason, gold starts to really pick up and we get a big, nice move up like that. What does that mean? Again, I'm not saying this is going to happen, but we need to be alert to, okay, I am swayed one way right now because the market is telling me the market is on a downward trend, so I have to go with the markets, not what I think is going to happen. But if this pattern starts to form, if it does start to form, what does that mean to the markets? Well, then guess what? We have a low and we have a higher low, and we're breaking past previous highs, which is an upward trend, right? A downward trend is what? This is lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. That's a downward trend, right? So we have those lower highs through there. But what is an upward trend? An upward trend is what? Higher lows, and so on and so forth, right? So bear with me here for a minute. So if we do get that nice little breakout bar like that, right? We get something like that and a nice little breakaway bar like that. Not only are we creating a higher low and breaking past previous highs, which is the first time we'd be creating that pattern, which is the buyers saying we're now in control, right? It's the first time that that'll be happening if we do get that. But also the big thing here is that we were breaking past two key levels of resistance. If we get something like this happening in the markets, if we do, then we could start to see a really strong move happening in gold. Right now, we're not getting that. It's on a continued downward basis. So the trend is your friend until the end. I am not saying this is going to be a bottom and you should go out and buy it right now because John said it's going to make a higher low and it's going to start to make a big move to the upside. I didn't say that. What I did say is we need to wait and see what the market does here. But if we're trading based off what we see, firstly, if you are trading the markets, you trade based off a system, pattern, rules, Not just, oh, well, the trend is down, so I'm gonna short it here because the trend is down, right? You don't want to be doing that. But this is just a general overall market update for you. And the thing is that the trend is down. So right now, the trend is your friend until the end. And right now, the end is not here. But if the end is here, you now know what to look for. Traders, I want to invite you to my webinar that I'm running today. And on this webinar, I'm going to share with you all the details to my #1 trading system for the last 17 years and how I only trade 1 hour per day. Plus, also going to be learning the 3 secrets that I had to master over the last 17 years to generate a really good income. If you go to johnsfreetraining.com, or there should be a link in the description, click on that. Go over there right now, register. If you are struggling with the trading right now, I promise you this is going to completely game change, because you're going to understand why you are going backwards and why you're losing money. And then I'm going to teach you exactly what the system I use that gets me a really high % win-loss ratio. So this is what I want you to do right now. Go to johnsfreetraining.com. Go over there, register for my webinar right now today, because you're going to absolutely love it. Or there should be a link in the description. And I look forward to seeing you on the webinar. So go to that right now, and I look forward to seeing you on my next webinar. Go to that right now. Go to johnsfreetraining.com. Go to that right now.